So Jodi, this poster board that you have down here, erased by the family courts due to incentives of Title 4D and lack of pathogenic parenting education. You took this up to
Parental Alienation Awareness Day at the Iowa Capitol that I had,
so
April 11th.
You were up there, and that's when you were speaking very loudly.
Very loudly. The legislators were the floor above me, and they were voting on things, so some of them couldn't come down. So what they did wave, some of them.
Keep talking, but I'm going to go through some of these pictures while you're talking, because this is obviously not a single person issue.
Right. And a lot of these people on this board are also going to be filmed in Erasing Family documentary that Ginger Gentile is doing.
Right.
And a lot of these people probably donated to that as well, so that the public can see that documentary.
Right.
And I went up to the Capitol Reserve, the whole first floor rotunda, April 11th. It's not Parental Alienation Awareness Day, but it was PA Awareness Day at the Capitol.
Okay.
And because PA Awareness Day is April 25th, as everyone knows. So I had I even had more of pictures that were spread out on tables as well. And I also was talking about the ACE study, the Adverse Childhood Experience. I had a board with that. I had a board with myself, pictures of myself with legislators such as U.S. Senator Joni Ernst from Iowa, Brad Zahn, the head of Judiciary at the state level in Iowa, different people that I've met, that I've talked about, or told stories about all these people to these legislators. Because I don't talk about just my case when I'm up there. I talk about collectively how many people are ruined by this. And approximately 50 million, some people say 35 million, but approximately 20 million parents are affected by parental alienation. Not everybody has one child. So stats I've seen are approximately 50 million now, children that are affected by parental alienation.
You know, we don't really know the numbers, honestly, as you know, but the reality is that it is affecting families. Many, many more families, individuals, children, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, than what we have been willing to admit.
Right.
And to say that it's in the millions and at least in the 20 to 30 million is not an exaggeration.
No, not at all.
But
and so when we hear all these parents, when they, we all hear the news, we hear people on the street saying, isn't it an atrocity that those children at the border were separated by parents, from their parents?
Right.
Well, more than 50% of those didn't come with their parents.
Right.
And so they were already separated for some reason, whether it's coyotes taking them across, not real coyotes.
I know what you're talking about.
And then and we're not saying that we want them separated.
No.
When we get angry, it's because how come there's media attention about the border children, the 2,500 children, but not
about the millions,
20 to 50 million children that aren't seeing one parent. And then add that to the CPS. There's millions and millions you can't even fathom that aren't seeing both parents or one parent. And our kids are just as traumatized. And if not
it's
more,
not a nice.
Those kids know they're going back probably.
It's not a nice photo op, is what it comes down to, and it's not a nice photo op. Number one, number two, there's too much money involved in court-sponsored family destruction and state-sponsored family destruction and CPS-sponsored family destruction. And that's what we're fighting for, is to stop the destruction of families and the exploitation of families so that some people can financially profit off of the destruction of our families, off of our children, off of our grandchildren, off of our mothers and fathers, aunts, uncles, everything that you've talked about. Where is the media? And this is why the whole thing, that this whole thing at the border, it was a political issue. If they want to talk about a political issue, talk about what's happening in our family courts.
Talk about this, because the people that hate Trump, let me tell you something out here. The reason why I voted for Trump, and I don't care who sees it, well, number one, I would have anyway because he was the Republican nominee. But number two, the main reason was, I believe it was on the third day of his debate, Jeff. He said, if you have children, you're going to see your children. And fully believe that.
Yeah.
That he is going to do something. And I believe that the reason why we haven't heard anything from him about this yet
Yeah.
is because people are throwing all this stuff in Russia, North Korea, the
Yeah.
border children. Honestly, all of us that don't have our children like this, we don't care. I don't have any life left without my children.
Yeah.
By the time I was 8 years old, I wanted to be a mother.
Yeah.
And a lot of mothers are like that. You know, when you're a little girl, you're like, wondering what your wedding's going to be like and what you're going to name your children.
Yeah.
My own daughters did this, Jeff. They would put names of children on paper, doodling while they're at school or at home. I said, who's that? That's what I'm going to name my child. That's what little girls do. Boys
Yeah.
don't do that.
Yeah.
Boys, you know, when you go, what do you want to be when you grow up? They don't go, I want to be a dad. No. Boys say, I want to be a fireman, a cop, a lawyer, you know, whatever, a cowboy, you know,
Yeah.
when they're looking. Girls go, I want to be a mommy, you know, a lot
Yeah.
of times.
Yeah.
I mean, that may be changing now. I mean, some little girls will say, I want to be a vet and everything. But I don't know any little girl that has never written down names of children that they like or say, oh, I'd
Yeah.
like to name my child that. So
Yeah.
this is horrible that we get our kids ripped from us, whether you're a man or a woman, and we're legal. We're U.S. citizens getting our children ripped from us. There's people in our groups from Australia, France, Germany, a lot of these places that don't have their children either.
Right.
And the media is not doing anything about them either.
Yeah.
So I don't want to cut out those people. They're law-abiding citizens too.
Right.
And where's the outrage of this? And in the U.S., they take our children, all these children that were taken, they had
Which is a fraction of the
a
people.
fraction.
This is a small.
Each one of these
I know.
pictures probably could represent
Oh.
a million. But in the U.S., if you take our children and you're getting Title IV funding for it, to flip our custody, and it's probably coming from Title IV as well for the CPS removals.
Right.
Now, these are all children. None of these are CPS cases, just so everyone watching.
Right.
None of these are CPS. Not one.
Yeah.
These are all law-abiding parents that don't see their children at all.
Well, I will correct you on that
Well,
because
Meredith Hare does.
yes,
Now.
there were a couple. No, but I was going to say that regarding, and I'm going to put the camera on mine was largely caused by CPS. It wasn't completely,
Yeah,
but
so you're
CPS got involved, and
But yours
CPS.
was not a CPS removal, is what I'm saying.
Right. Exactly.
Yours
Exactly.
was obstruction by CPS.
Absolutely.
And their negligence.
And you're right, and that is a different issue. You're right.
Yeah.
So I thank
these
you.
were all removed from law-abiding parents by another parent.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Meredith got lucky, and she's, you know, gets to talk to some. I think currently she doesn't even know where this one or her son is right now. I think.
Wow.
Last I heard, hers are adults though. This is her son and daughter. But when you take our kids and get Title IV funding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, but I believe this is what Grassley told me. The D becomes E. The D and the E go into B. Title IV B. B is to reunite families. It's to reunite families of CPS that were taken that come back to the parents that, you know, for reunification therapy that
Yeah.
might need therapy.
Yeah.
It's to reunify people in my case where they might have had a breakdown of the relationship.
Yeah.
So you file FINA, Families in Need of Assistance.
Right.
If someone did that to them.
Yeah.
Or it's for immigrant families. So is it for immigrant families? Or is that a vague term, and is it illegal immigrants too? I'd like to
Yeah.
know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Because if they're taking our children and then reuniting illegal immigrants with the money that was taken or incentivized to take ours, that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't speak to the issue of the Title IV-D and E and B. I have not researched that as other people have. I know.
There's Title IV A and X
Yeah.
too, so if Kerry Speedman is watching, I have
Yeah.
to put that out there because he knows about all those
Yeah.
too.
And I don't, and I will never, at this point in time, the things that I'm focusing on, I couldn't really spend the time that would be necessary in those.
Right.
But thank you so much for representing people up in Iowa. And you were not
Texas.
just representing people in Iowa, you were representing people in Texas, you were representing people in Alabama,
Texas,
New
New
York,
Jersey.
California, Washington State, Florida, all over our country.
Pennsylvania.
So,
Yeah, I wrote a proclamation that now became a House resolution there.
yes, exactly.
Yeah. that's
Under,
pretty cool.
yeah. So, anyway, thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.